This morning where we have some patchy cloud cover, we're still seeing solid clouds down to the south, but patchy clouds to the north. So coastal fog this morning should start clearing this hour. Still muggy in spots, especially close to the coastline. Today we'll see near average temperatures, mainly in the 70s and 80s, and also spotty thunderstorm activity kicking off over toward the mountains. Temperatures right now largely in the 70s. Look at these dew points closer to the coastline, ranging from 63 to 66 degrees. Remaining in the low to mid 60s, again, thanks to those warm ocean waters. So the humidity near the coast is not really going anywhere as long as the water stays warm. Temperatures today will reach the 70s and 80s, very similar to what we saw yesterday. 77 for Coronado, 78 in San Diego, and 80 out in Lemon Grove. We'll get to the upper 80s in El Cajon, Poway, Escondido, and in Ramona. Closer to the coastline in the 70s and low 80s. Mountain communities will hit the 80s today as well, but we are expecting thunderstorms to kick off into the afternoon. Isolated to spotty activity right over the mountain line into the 2 and 3 o'clock hour. If you do have any outdoor plans today, here's what you can expect. Good conditions for surfers, but for boaters and campers, you want to be careful if you're out toward the mountains today, again, because we are expecting thunderstorms into the afternoon. So fair conditions for both those activities. Hikers also still muggy close to the coastline. So if you go to Torrey Pines, perhaps those trails, it'll be fair conditions for hiking and walking the dog. Also fair because of the heat and humidity for those canines. All right, coming up in just a bit, we're going to talk a little bit more about the thunderstorm threat today. We'll take a look at the computer model for when those thunderstorms will kick off. But first, let's get you caught up on traffic at the coastline, which is why our humidities are so elevated near the coast this morning. Notice over the mountains, we're seeing humidities in the 40 and 50 percentile, so it's not super dry over the mountains. And thunderstorms are expected to fire off again this afternoon, which would lead to some rain because it's a little bit more saturated, the atmosphere, than what we saw last week. Today's high temperatures will be in the 70s and 80s for the most part. We'll hit the upper 80s in some of our inland spots like Poway, Escondido, and El Cajon. Temperatures there either right at average or just slightly below average. We'll be 5 degrees below average today in Campo. 105 in Borrego is 2 degrees below average, but closer to the coastline, temperatures actually running a couple degrees above where they should be, like San Diego, Oceanside, and Chula Vista. But again, away from the coastline, we're going to be slightly below average, and we'll see very little change in our temperatures in the coming days. So we're going to stay there all the way through the work week. Satellite radar picture showing some moisture starting to edge towards San Diego County. As we take a look at the high resolution rain model, you're going to notice some thunderstorms popping off into the afternoon. Here they go in the 2 o'clock hour, continuing to the 3 o'clock hour, isolated to spotty activity right along the ridge line here. And that's going to continue through the 5 o'clock hour before the storms start to die down by about 6, 7 o'clock. So look at your 7-day forecast. We are going to see, again, temperatures very close to average today and very little change through the work week, trending down just a touch. Future because we just have these warm ocean water temperatures. We're looking live this morning in San Miguel where you can see we do still have that fog, although it's starting to peel away here near the coastline. Temperatures coastside are in the 70s this morning. We're mainly in the 70s around the county. Of course, it's warmer in the deserts, but look at these dew points close to the coastline, ranging between 63 and 66 degrees. Still pretty muggy close to the coast, again, thanks to these really warm ocean waters. Look at all the orange stretching all the way from Coronado up past Long Beach, indicating water temperatures above 75 degrees close to the coastline. That's why it's been so muggy. Coastside, it's going to stay that way again as long as those water temperatures are elevated. For high temperatures today, we're going to reach the 70s and 80s, very similar to what we saw out there yesterday. Low 80s closer to the coastline, upper 80s for some of our inland spots, 87 for El Cajon, 88 in Poway, and 89 in Valley Center. We'll get to 83 in Rancho Bernardo and Mira Mesa today. We'll be in the 80s also in the mountains where we have enough instability that we're going to see some of those thunderstorms fire off with afternoon heating today. As for our temperatures, we're not going to see a whole lot of change in the coming days. Look at the temperature trend for our inland spots. Pretty much stagnant all the way into the weekend. I think we'll see maybe a degree or two of cooling as we head toward the weekend, though. Satellite radar picture showing that moisture edging towards the county. Again, enough instability for thunderstorms to fire off later today. Let's take a look. You'll notice the thunderstorms firing off along the mountain line here as we move towards the 3 and 4 o'clock hour. So we'll continue to see isolated to spotty activity through the evening, and it will taper off after the 6 o'clock hour. That's when we'll start to see things clear out. So let's get a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, not a whole lot of change from our temperatures in the coming days. Maybe a degree